Well, hello everybody. This is Pastor Steve Cutler, First Southern Baptist Church in Chowchilla. I am without my tripod today, but we are here at Shell Beach, more specifically Dinosaur Grove, one of my favorite places to go. Dinosaur Cove, let me say that again, one of my favorite places to go. And as driving down here, as we were on the freeway, headed down here at 41, going through Kettleman, you pass by Bravo Farms. And I picked up a new devotional. This devotional is called 365 Days, A Little God Time for Boys. A Little God Time for Boys. Something that I guess they have designed for us men. Usually I'm doing 365 words of Jesus, but I did not bring that with me. I did not plan on doing a video, but I thought while I was out here, this was the time to do it. So we're going to sit down for a spell, go over this devotional, which is called Faith and Dreams. It is on Abraham. And it's in Hebrews chapter 11, starting in verse 8. And Abraham is told to go. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 8, it says, Abraham had faith, so he obeyed God, and God called him to go to a place that he would later receive for his own. So he went. He did it even though he didn't know where he was going. God told him to go, and Abraham didn't even know where he was going. He just set out on faith that God would tell him as he went where it was that he was going. Such amazing faith. You know, Abraham had to overcome the obstacles in his life. His father was a idol maker, an idol worshiper. I find that interesting that you can worship something that you created with your hands. But it is what David did. It is who he was. So Abraham's father, Abraham overcame that, knew within himself that there had to have been one God, and his journey was to find who that God is. So that's what we are exploring here. So we'll get into this book here. Excuse the shakiness. It says, do you have a big dream in your heart? Sometimes God has asked us to do things that are big, that don't make sense to others. When this happens, hold tightly to the dream. Don't let yourself be discouraged because it seems hard or impossible. God often asks us to have faith about the impossible things. In those moments, we get to see how big and strong God is. He can make impossible dreams happen. Abraham had faith, even though he didn't know where he was going. He listened to God, and he trusted him along the way. There might be a time in your life when God asks you to do the same thing, even when you can't see how it will work out. You can trust God along the way. You can practice trusting him for small things, and eventually you find yourself trusting him for really big things. I agree with that. One of the most difficult things, one of the most difficult decisions, in fact, the one that I ran from the most, was the decision to follow God into ministry. I don't know if people understand this, but it is not easy there's a lot of fear involved in ministry. There's a lot of things that we see, a lot of attacks that take place upon the pastor, upon the church itself, and the leaders who are trying to take a stand. They're going to be attacked by Satan. But I can tell you that since I've taken this step, and I've been doing it for 20-something years, I'd have to look back to tell you, probably, I think it's 21 years since I've been licensed, and it hasn't been easy, but it has been worth it. I found so much joy in being obedient to God than there ever was in being disobedient, knowing that God wanted so much more for me than the life that I was living, and having to jump out and say that's what I was going to do. Abraham didn't even know where he was going. And yet he stepped out. God said go. He had enough faith to know that whenever God says something, he will provide for you. And he stepped out and went. And it wasn't easy. In fact, the promise was, in the future, this land I will give to you, but it won't be right now. It's not going to be immediate. In fact, it was carried on to his children. And but God said, all this is yours, and it will one day all be yours. It wasn't something that he was going to receive right away. He was going to have to go through many trials. So he was faithful enough to God to follow the path that God wanted him to go on. Sometimes I don't know where that path is. I don't know where it leads. But I know that God's will show me some great things in my life. Obedience to God's will show me great things. So I pray that you guys are willing to follow God, that you will trust that he knows his path for you. He knows that the things that you need. Continue to be faithful. Guys, know that I'm praying for you. Men and women both, know that I'm praying for you. Know that I believe in you, and that through Christ we can do all things. Be blessed, guys. Have a great day.